at Mars. So if you have Venus, Mars and your moon, which are not more than 90 degrees away, between the male and the female, it gives an indication that here is a nature where you can adapt, you'll be able to relate to each other. And this is the basic presumptive thing which I do here is that it is the male who goes for the female. So it is from the male chart, the females, Moon, Venus and Mars should not be more than 90 degrees apart. That is the most ideal and the best situation. But however, it depends on a lot of other things. But these are things which you can apply. Don't have the same ascendant, don't have the same ruling sign. See that the Moon, Venus and Mars are not 90 degrees away from each other, and it would give you a fairly good idea that you are compatible. And this is not from the sun sign, moon sign, this is from your horoscope. See the ascendant, see the position of that you should not have the same lagna, the same ascendant. The moon, the Venus and the Mars of the male and the female should not be more than 90 degrees apart. And I've tested it in a lot of horoscopes where I've seen that it gives the kind of a nature where there is a compatibility and the relationship is better. So this is not perfect, but this is something which is like a on a broader scale, on a first basic principle, on a macro level, on a very a primary level, it works and gives you an idea that whether you are compatible in your mind, in your energy level and in your relationship levels. The two people are compatible between the mind, energy and the relationship levels, and that can be only possible if the male's Venus is behind 90 degrees from the female horoscope, or the female's Venus, Mars and Moon is 90 degrees ahead. And closer it is, I feel the better it is. Try it out, you will see it works in most of the cases. So it is better to look at these broader aspects and look at a compatibility before you get into a relationship, rather than just going in for that number game of 32 points. The whole system is very complex, the whole system is very deep, but this is just a video which I am giving for the youngsters. If you have your chart, look at your ascendant. Your ascendant should not be same. The Moon, Venus and Mars, as I've explained to you, should not be 90 degrees away between the male and the female. With my basic presumption, it is the male Moon which goes after the female Moon, the male Venus which goes after the female Mars, and so on and so forth. These are the three planets which you should take into consideration and have a look in this way. I'm sure it will be better than the point system which people apply. Now coming to the second very important aspect is the role of Saturn and the timing of events. One thing which I would like to mention here, which is very important, I've seen, is Saturn delays. And Saturn, in the case of two ascendants, that is Cancer, Kark and Leo, semi-ascendants, the 7th house is ruled by Saturn. And I have mostly seen in the case of Cancer ascendant, the married life is an issue because the 7th house is ruled by Saturn and Saturn has its own issues. So even Lord Rama had Cancer ascendant. So whenever you have Cancer ascendant and the 7th house is ruled by Saturn, it creates some kind of delay, denials and some frustration, and it happens in all the cases of Cancer ascendants. Check it out for yourself. In the case of Leo, it is not that much, because in case of Leo, the 7th house is ruled by Aquarius, which happens to be the Mool Trikon sign of Saturn. Or those who are seeing this video the first time, Mool Trikon sign is the house of Saturn, which is its most convenient house. It's the basic house of Saturn, where Saturn is more relaxed. In a very simplistic way. So it does not create that kind of great problems. But in case of Cancer ascendants, where the 7th lord becomes Saturn, it creates issues. So coming to the issues of timing of the events of marriage. In my previous videos, I've explained to you the impact of Saturn, the impact of Mars, relationship of Rahu, Ketu, Mercury. What are the various things which you should see to see whether a marriage is delayed or it's going to happen fast. Now the timing of the event is a very complex thing which perhaps I will not be able to explain in a video, but for the timing of the events, you have to see when the 2nd, 7th and 11th houses Lord come into play in the Dasha and the Antardasha. When the 2nd, 7th and 11th houses come into the play between the Dasha and Antardasha, that is the time when a marriage will happen. When you see that this is going to happen, check on the transit. The Jupiter should aspect the 5th, 7th, 9th and 11th houses from wherever it is placed. That is the transit of Jupiter. And Saturn should also aspect the houses or the lords of these houses. So there has to be aspect of Jupiter and Saturn on the 7th house or on the lord of the house. Then that is the time or the period during the dasha when the marriage would fructify. This is a complex kind of a thing. I would want you to take my book on transit, which is available with Sagar publication, a book on marriage, which is very detailed book, which is available with Sagar publication. Read this book, you will get into more detailed understanding on how to time the event of marriage, which again one cannot neglect the first basic principles of to see whether the marriage is delayed, denied, or is it early. And then we go into the timing, and when we go into timing, it has to be the basic chart, the Navamsha chart, the Nakshatra Lord, the Sub Lord, and various other factors which have to be taken into consideration to pinpoint, and the final pinpoint is done by the transit. So here again a very complex system where you can go for my book. You can also go to my site where I have put a lot of articles on marriage, and I would like to sum up this video on the timing and the event of marriage. I would keep on putting videos on small issues which would interest you, so subscribe to my channel. You can also visit my site, and for my books please go to Sagar Publications. Thanks and bye for now.